Good, glorious morning, everyone. This is Cultivate Conscious Moments with Austin James Haynes. And when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. I'll be right back. Well, good, glorious morning. It's April 24th. The first thing is, how are you? And I think I'm just going to start off this way. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Create some space. Your busy mind is thinking, I don't have time for this. But I promise you, if you take the time right now with me, keep it a minute and just pause. So take a moment right now. I want to encourage you to breathe in through your nose. Fill your lungs. Let your belly expand. Don't suck your belly in. Let your belly out. No one's watching. And see if you can hold it. And exhale. And if you've done that just one time, there's a calm that you'll feel. You don't need me to explain it to you. And it's the simple things that are the most profound. And the reason why you feel that is because most people that are going to click on this are in sympathetic mode. Their nervous systems are wired for fight, flight, and fright because the news tells us so. The world's in disarray. All the news is pumping down, and your nervous system, and then your own to-do list, your family obligations, your trauma, your job is demanding more for less money or the same money, and they're adding more onto your plate. They're giving you a nice shiny promotion, a new title, but then they're saying, oh, but you got to do this extra work, but you get the title. But we can't pay you more, but we get the title. And new again, it doesn't watch the news. Good for you, man. But we can slip into fight, flight, or fright, sympathetic. The moment you pause and breathe, you immediately shift and you move over to parasympathetic mode, rest, refresh, digest. And if that's all you took away from this today, that's great. And I'm going to share with you my escapade yesterday, my adventures on the trail. I had some great insights that remind me of the lessons that I teach. The stuff that I teach is a reminder for me as much as it is for you. So I use the hourglass here as a symbol that the things are always moving. And if we can just pause, this is the future. I can't go up to this grain of sand and know when or how it's going to come through. And here, this is the past. It's already flown through. I can't bring it back up again. Now, in this case, I can turn this over, but you know what I mean. And the hourglass is a powerful symbol in our lives. and take that time today to pause. Now, let me share with you what happened yesterday. And let me go back to the quote that I started with, because this quote, I love this quote. When we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. That's a quote by Wendell Berry. When we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. And that's where our emotions can really play on us, our thoughts and our emotions. And if you haven't done the work, the deeper work, the roots might not be there. But when the roots are there, you can withstand the wind. Think about the palm tree in the hurricane, the cyclone. And we've all seen the images of the wind whipping up to 100 miles an hour. And the trees are blowing on the surface, but their roots, if they got good soil, strong root system, somehow many of the trees can withstand the storm. And I liken that to this. When we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work, because that's what's going to call us for innovation. We need to innovate. If you could tap the screen if you're liking this, and if you want to share it, if this is speaking to you. And then we must innovate and cultivate something new. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Thank you, Donna. We can cultivate. We can begin to innovate. And dare I say, here's what I'm going to get into, because this was what happened to me yesterday. Let me share the dance. The dance. If we can speak to, or I should say, allow these moments when we feel like nothing's going to work. It feels like nothing's working. Everything I tried, nothing's working. Is it always going to be this way? We start questioning. How come it always never works out for me? Or how come this always happens? Or when's my breakthrough going to happen? Or when's the money going to come in? We start asking these questions. But what if we could sit in the void? Cook some food for the people. I'm going to play in the Matrix. Okay. Let me share with you what I came up with. The dance. First thing that came through was the dance between your blessings and your losses. If we could go into your story, each one of you has blessings and you have losses, perhaps great losses. Am I right? And what are you focused on today? Are you right now in this moment? What's your internal weather? Are you focused on the blessings in your life? Or are you focused on the losses in your life? What are you focused on? Is your internal weather stormy, cloudy, rainy, sunny, partly cloudy? What's your internal weather right now? Take a moment to type that in. What's your internal weather? What is it? Love. Beautiful. What's your internal weather? Stormy, cloudy, hurricane, drizzle. Donna says it's drizzling. Okay. How does that make you feel when you say drizzle? Does that make you feel calm? Does it make you feel sad? Like, what are you feeling right now? I'm going to go off script. Trust the moment. What are you feeling right now? And you could describe it in weather if you want. Sunny, cloudy, rainy, stormy, thunder, conflicted. Okay, so you're conflicted. Are you conflicted about a life decision, conflicted about like a decision you have to make, conflicted about something that already happened, and you're not sure what to do about it, like how to position yourself, how to show up. And if you don't want to type it in, maybe you just want to acknowledge how you're feeling right now. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Take a moment to do that. You're sad. Okay. So now we have a basis that you're feeling sad. Okay. Now, can we allow that? Hard to know what I feel. Sometimes there's no words, right? It's true. There's emotions that we have. There's not enough words, or there just doesn't seem to be the right words to describe how we're feeling. Sometimes there's a mix of emotions. So I want to encourage you to type in this morning how you're feeling with no judgment. Just type it in. If you want to use weather, use weather. It's a hurricane inside of me right now. It's sunny. It's the morning. It's the sun filtering through. Actually, that's what I would describe myself. It's the morning sun filtering through the tree leaves. You know, and the wind slightly blows, and then the light seems to dance. The light beams, the sunbeams seem to dance as it filter through the leaves. And there's something burgeoning. There's something burgeoning. All right, I want to share with you, Donna. Donna, I want you to acknowledge how you feel right now without judging yourself. And I want to share what happened with me yesterday. I was out on the trail. I took a late day stint. Sometimes I just intuitively, I'm called, and I just drop everything and I'll go out on the trail. So I went to Wissahickon Valley. And as I reflect, I got goosebumps on the subtleties that I experienced. But I was on the trail and I thought to myself, you got your blessings and your losses. And these blessings and losses, and then I imagined what I envisioned is them dancing together. The blessings and the losses dancing together. And then that dance, it came to me, that dance is the dance of appreciation. The blessings and the losses. We typically operate, the world has taught us to operate. We're sad, we're happy, we're successful, we're a failure. We love categories in the world. But to be uncategorized is to transcend. We use categories as a way to understand, but they don't dominate. And so it is with the blessings and the losses. I'm a failure. I'm a winner. I'm dealing with major loss right now. And then we settle on loss. But dare I say, like, even in the midst of your greatest loss, is there a blessing that you forgot about? And so I imagine that if we just allowed the loss to come over us, and then we noticed these subtle blessings, and we allow the blessings and the loss to dance together, and then there's this deep appreciation that transcends what we're going through in the human frame. And it becomes visceral, deep, profound, touching. And maybe it's a place very few of us get to. And then the other thought I had is, what if it's the same thing with failure and success? It's not failure or success. See, the world has taught us that we are a failure, or we failed, or we succeeded. right or wrong? Is this, that guy's successful, that gal is successful, that gal's sexy, that guy is handsome, and then everyone else is down here. But what I would propose to you is that it's not failure or success. It's the dance of failure and success. You see the recognition of this? Now you're not a failure or a success. You are observing the dance between the two. And this dance is the dance of progress. See, the dance of progress contains polarity. It's not in a vacuum as we think it is. And I actually wrote about it in my book called Flashpoint, Manifesting the Moment of Your Big Breakthrough. And I talk about a thing called the polarity principle. And it's the dance between the energies that we need to recognize. See, it seems at times that the logical brain, the logic dominates the world. That's how we build bridges, we build, architecture, math. It seems to dominate the world, but it really doesn't. But it does provide structure. It does provide a track to run on. But the ethereal things is what elevates and feeds the heart and soul. And the ability to embrace all the energies and all the things that you're feeling is really powerful. So let me go back to my time out on the trail. And if you're feeling like I started with, where the road has disappeared, the road that you're on has gone, it's coming to a close, you're going to go out of business, the relationship is coming to an end, now you're stepping into the unknown. That's where the work is. And when you feel the emotion of the loss, but then there's a blessing, you got to recognize the blessing. If you're going to recognize the loss, it's your responsibility to discover, to descry the blessings. And here's what I described yesterday. Today, I described what the trail had to teach. As my feet take turns planting and lifting to descend the rocky trail, I look down to ensure I am sure-footed with each step. Naturally, without thinking, I look forward to see where I am going. I stop to check my time. Isn't this similar to our life? I need to look ahead to determine what I want, where I want to go, before I step. Once I begin to step, I need to view where my foot is planting. If I fix my gaze too long ahead, I may get tripped up on the rocks. If I look down too long, I may wander off course. I sometimes need to stop and assess my time and my overall location. When I master this, I master the process in some way. But mastery can be elusive as the mind wanders. We can also shift on autopilot and try to multitask. If the terrain is smooth, we may be able to multitask for a while, but long term, this strategy is not sustainable. Today, I had a mix of many guises. My mind did wander. I did get caught up on a rock or two where I almost tripped. I did try to multitask by looking at my watch while descending and almost slipped on gravel pressed against hard ground. I also ensured deep nose breath as I walk, a meditation or a walking meditation, if you will. I focused my foot as it planted. I felt the presence with each step and the feeling of each foot. I stopped often to admire my surroundings, the wind blowing through the treetops. Some leaves blow about, shaken loose from the wind. Perhaps they couldn't make it through the colder April nights. Houston Meadows welcomes me again. I find okay, I'm going to stop there, but what I want to share with you there is that, Donna, I'm going to grab your shares here in a moment. But to wrap this up on this live stream, YouTube, I'll keep TikTok open. The ability to look ahead where we want to go. Where do you want to go with your life? The ability to look ahead, but knowing that once I look ahead, I need to know what my next logical step is and where my foot is going to plant. If you think about a rocky hiking trail, you need to look down, because if you don't plant your foot firmly in that next logical step, you could go down, you could turn an ankle, you could trip, you could fall, especially when you're ascending or descending, you might lose your footing. And think about this dance of life. And even in my little journey, I almost tripped a couple times. I almost slid because my mind was wandering. But the moment I recognize it, I can stop. I can pause and breathe in a minute or two. I can recalibrate my bearings. Then I can look ahead where I want to go. And then I can say, and you're not going to question. You don't see, when you're on a hiking trail, you're not questioning this. If you're present, you will naturally look down. You will naturally be in the moment. You will naturally plant your foot. You will naturally cultivate a conscious moment when you're fully alive. And then, like me, when you're sitting here and you're reflecting back on the subtleties that happened throughout that micro journey in my life, perhaps I'll forget about it 10 years from now, but I journaled it. I reflect today and I'm filled up with fully living. And I find this conscious moments where I'm fully living, but the conscious moment allows me to recognize that I'm fully living. And it's not just sand that went through the moment that I will forget about or that's gone forever. It's at least I'm capturing it now. And that's what this is about, to cultivate conscious moments. And so let me go back. I'm going to end the YouTube. Thank you for being here. And by the way, just a quick service announcement. I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this series, so I invite you to follow along. I have so many exciting things planned. I'm going on a world tour. I'm going to be bringing you poetry, conscious moments, nature, people, things that are going to pour into your journey so that you can cultivate conscious moments, so that you can begin to feed your heart and soul, maybe at a different level, and something burgeons, sprouts, buds, blooms in you that you are not aware of. Because I worked for a corporation for 19 years, Fortune 500 company. I was in sales. I was doing really well. In the middle of my best year, I walked away. And I assure you, it was not to be a poet, but that's exactly what burgeoned in me. And I could never have planned it. But the other thing I want to leave you with before I close the YouTube down, sometimes it's as simple as moving in the direction of your highest aspiration or a feeling, not figuring it out, just looking up, metaphorically on the trail, looking up and beginning to move in that direction. John Muir, the great naturalist, environmentalist, went out for a walk one day and he just kept going. He moved in the direction. That day he went for that walk in the Pacific Northwest. In nature, it swept him away. And then he became this great, well-known naturalist, writer, environmentalist that is also known as the father of the national parks, John Muir. He went for a walk one day. Sometimes it's as simple as moving in the direction when you have zero figured out. Think about that. That is a powerful statement right there. Someone's going to get that. Because most of us, here's the journey. We're lost up here. We're running scenarios. We're overthinking. We're 1,000 steps ahead. Like, and it's like, boom, life is where? In this conscious moment. Full, alert, presence in this conscious moment. What's important to me right now? What do I most need? What's my heart and soul saying? What am I going to do? And then you move forward. So follow the YouTube, TikTok, stay with me. Austin James Haynes, 19-year employee to poet. Follow along. Let's uncover the beautiful things in you and let's cultivate conscious moments. Bye-bye for now.